Do your intro again. It was kind of chopping, cutting out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so your whole big funny moment that was not heard. I think all I heard through
I
all of
don't even
that,
know what I said.
I think I just heard but. That's the only thing I heard.
Yeah, I don't even remember what my intro was. Like, I think it was talking about like pulling a fist out of my ass and spend there for 5 days.
I I
I don't
I
remember who
I
it
think I
was.
only heard ass, which I mean, I think that's the
Okay.
most important part. So,
Honestly, we might as well just use this for the intro because it's my channel
oh
and this
my
is the kind of
gosh.
like quality I would expect out of my content.
Oh my gosh, literally. I can't.
Look at this outfit. This says cry for help.
Can I say something?
I don't want you to. I want you.
And then today we're doing a collaboration. Nate, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I am from Nate Turd the Third, and I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, we're gonna do a tier list, right, Jeffrey?
Yeah. And as you can see, we have some fun and snappy categories to put these doll lines in. We've got allowed to say the F slur, so they get a pass. There is Slay All Day. There is leaked Brett Favre news because like they were okay, but like they could have been better. Mid, which speaks for itself. Dumpster fire, and then the absolute worst, most stanky, ranky, bottom tier thing that could ever happen on the internet. Jeffrey Steinman reviews. So we're gonna get into it. Nate is piloting this because it works better with his system. And we're just going to start ranking some doll lines that we might have forgotten.
So the first one, I think, is Rainbow High.
Well, on your channel, you were asking me, so now I'm asking you, what do you think of Rainbow High?
Okay, so there was, when Rainbow High first came out, there was a period of time where it was a very, like a drought for dolls. And besides LOL, I feel like Rainbow High was a big pioneer into this new era of fashion dolls and what a fashion doll could be. And I feel like they have been pushing the envelope of what a fashion doll is. They listen to the fans a lot, and I like that. If y'all know me, my aesthetic is very rainbow, and I feel like I fit really heavily into that. And not only does Rainbow High play around with other alternative things like black and white, aliens, and stuff like that, they're just a really cool, solid doll line.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret on my channel that I'm very like anti-corporation. MGA had that designer that literally doxed a child, etc. But if we're speaking just like solely Rainbow High, they did bring us something that nobody else was bringing us at the time. For the price point, we got a fully articulated doll with a stand, two outfits. Barbie could never at that price point. And so, honestly, they're literally Rainbow High. I think they should be allowed to say the F slur.
I agree. I totally agree. We're starting it with them. Next up, and I also do want to say I do not stand corporations, y'all. Don't worry. I don't care about them. I'm just talking about the dolls themselves. Because if we factored in the bad things all these people are doing, it would really alter the list. Next up
Yeah.
is Hair Dorables. Is that what these dolls are called? Hair Dorables?
Oh, yeah, yeah. What do you think?
I never owned these dolls, but aesthetically I like them. But they are kind of weird to me because I think I prefer the little dolls, and the fact that they then made them grow very large limbs just is kind of off-putting for me.
Yeah, I have two of them. One of them was the very first girl with like the lemon bag. I don't remember her name. Might have been Naomi. I'm not 100% sure. And then I got the prom set because it came with like a boy, and I love boy dolls. And they're very much like hollow, cheapied out, plasticky, like whatever. But the hair Dorables now that you can go to Walmart and get for like $5, those dolls for being like low budget Playline dolls are amazing. But when they were like doing this original Hair Dorables, it was kind of like Brett Favre's nudes to me.
I, speaking of those new ones, I think I prefer the new ones over these. And if they just made boy dolls out of like this new ones, I would so be all for them. So you said Brett Favre nudes.
That's what I think.
I have like no opinion on them, like to say which either way they should go. I see Snap Stars next. I have less of an opinion than I did with Hair Dorables. I Aren't these the gimmicky ones, like you take pictures and do something and they come with like a photo booth studio? It's those?
Like a green screen.
Oh, I didn't care. I think I was too involved with other doll lines. I really honestly forgot they existed.
I remember seeing them on Toya's channel, and then they started showing up on shelves, and I was like, oh, I'll go check them out. They had the most awkward scale because they're not quite like a 4-inch doll, but they're not quite a 12-inch doll. They're not a 6-inch doll, I don't think. And so they were just super awkward in scale. They didn't really mix and match with other doll lines anywhere. And you know, doll collectors, they love knowing like what shoes can fit which dolls, etc. And the green screen effect didn't really work. They went on clearance so fast. I remember getting mine and not being impressed with her. Honestly, I would say that they're dumpster fire.
I agree with you. Next up is Ever After High. I have a lot of opinions about Ever After High. Ever After High has the best storyline out of any doll line to ever exist. I think even better than Monster High personally. Their story is so good. It takes you the fairy tale characters that you know, but it's the kids of those fairy tale characters. And it does it way better than Descendants ever did. And it's just so good. The story is incredible. And it does have a lot of iconic dolls. Something I do think that this doll line suffers from is diversity. And I feel like that's something that could have been heavily pushed more with these dolls. But overall, I think they were really classy dolls. They had rings and a lot of jewelry and accessories and were pretty bougie for a Mattel doll line.
Like I said in your video, I only had like 2, and it was Michelle the Mermaid, Hunter Huntsman, that I was gonna do like the body swap with like that Babysitter Club Twink Ken doll because like they had similar skin tones. So honestly, they might just be a sleigh all day for me.
I would agree. I would agree. Personally, I think I would put him in that loud to say the F-slur. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Because I feel like the diversity, if they had that, oh, definitely allowed to say the F-slur.
Yeah.
But they could really use and benefit from a reboot. And I feel like they would be the top doll line. They have that potential. Next up is Wings.
Which ones? Is it the Mattel ones?
I don't know anything about Wings.
So if it's the Mattel ones, those were like god tier Winx Club dolls. If it's any of the other ones, I don't really care. And where I can't tell what they are because they're way too tiny on the screen, I would just say Brett Favre's Nudes. Yeah, it was good, but I wanted more.
I really honestly don't know anything about them. If I ever did, I think I watched the first episode that was on like that 4Kids, that one channel. And I just watched that first episode, and I really liked the redhead, Bloom. I think her name is Bloom.
Uh-huh.
And I think one of them's Flora, Musa, or am I thinking Tinkerbell? I don't know. But I think their aesthetic is really cool, and fairies are really cool. And I know they made Fate the Winged Saga on Netflix, and it got canceled,
Cool.
which is rest in
As it
peace.
should.
It was bad?
My roommate watched it, and he like loves anything, and he was like, garbage.
So, yeah, I agree with you. Do you like it more than Hair Adorables?
Only if it's the Mattel one. So we're just gonna put it, yeah.
See, I wouldn't have even known Mattel made some of them.
It was like when Mattel was in their like lay the boots down pussy era. Like it was like that great period of Mattel from like 2004-ish to like 2009-ish. Like when they just could not miss.
Next up is Hatchimals. Are these? No, not Hatchimals. Enchantimals. These kind of were a spin-off off of Ever After High, kind of, because Ever After High did those kind of like small animal looking dolls before these Enchantimals. I really don't care for these. There's a lot of molded on pieces. I get they're for children and everything, but since we're ranking this as kind of like the best doll lines, I do not think this is one of the best doll lines. They're just kind of there. And you could get away with a doll line that's an animal aesthetic and it'd be a really good doll line.
I remember seeing them a lot at Tuesday morning when I was like silkstone hunting back when you could at Tuesday morning. And I remember they had like a cute like porcupine boy, I believe. And then there was a while there where they were doing some mermaids, like a narwhal mermaid, etc. And like those were kind of slay, but yeah, they're very much like what they are, like hard plastic with like that crappy, weird paper fabric Mattel does. I don't know if mid would be too nice
That is a
to
little
put them
nice.
or dumpster fire.
I would say dumpster fire. Next up, Wild Hearts Crew. I'm pretty sure that's their name. This line is a Mattel line. It was kind of between that era where I think Monster High G2 ended and there was that drought of dolls. They kind of came out there. They had a very short run. And I think the thought of them is really cool and there was potential there, but it never really went anywhere. I don't think they impacted the doll industry at all. They just kind of went and died.
Yeah, they literally had no chance. It was like a fish tank that like exploded in Phoenix, you know? There was nothing there. They didn't have lasting power. And I remember when they first came out and I was like, hey, this would have worked in like 2006. Like they were so dated by the time that they came out. And I just wasn't into it. I like the different body styles. And they had like not like good fashion packs, but the spirit of the fashion packs and everything they came with were good. So honestly, I would just put them like mid because they didn't do anything.
Yeah, I agree. And Monster High D3 took a lot of inspiration from them actually. I think body types were kind of based off of them and the way they screen the face is kind of similar to G3. Next is LOL OMGs. This was right when that drought started. Near the end of that drought, OMGs came and they brought in this resurgence of fashion dolls because they did so good. I was heavily collecting these when they first came out and I think I had almost all of them. Then there came a point where Rainbow High came into the mix and I kind of forgot about them and I had to drop them because it's like it gets so expensive and Rainbow High got so expensive. But I think they have left their mark in the doll community. Like they had nipples, for crying out loud. Like what other dolls, fashion dolls have freaking nipples? Their fashion was really cool. I see them as glorified drag queens. That's what I see the OMGs as.
They did so much when the doll community was finally starting to come back into like whatever it was. And when stuff like this gets spit out by a company like MGA, Mattel has to light a fire under their ass so quick to catch up. And they have just been consistent across the board. I think like we've had a couple of dips where people are like, I'm not really feeling this collection, but then something comes out and they're right back up again. So honestly, I think they're allowed to say the F slur.
I agree. I really agree. I don't think they're as good as Rainbow High, but they left their mark on this history of dolls. Next up, I think these are the Disney Store dolls. So I know every year they make a new version of these dolls. I feel like everyone goes through their princess doll phase, and I had my Disney Store princess doll phase, and I remember one year I got all of them and I was really happy. They're currently in a drawer just stuffed in there. And I rather collect princess memorabilia, like stuff I could wear, like backpacks, shirts and clothes and stuff like that, instead of the dolls. I do think they're cool, but something about the Disney Store body, it's not that good. Like they still have like rubber knees and everything, and I don't know, they could experiment with different body shapes and different things like that. And then Disney Store's quality of hair is so bad, and I'm someone who does restyle and change my dolls. That's how I feel about them, that they don't hit that mark for me.
I'm very like character doll driven, and I'm a huge character doll slut. So like the Disney Store dolls, to me, I know what you're saying. Like if we're going off just the classic, like the $20 ones now, because I think they're like $20 in the little cardboard boxes. If we're just going off that, yeah, they're not like all the way there. But if we're going off like Disney Store dolls as a whole, they are stepping it up. Between like Disney I Love You Forever, I know those like designer dolls weren't everybody's favorite, but we still got some really good face sculpts out of there. We still got some really good stuff. Like Disney, like their face sculpts every year, I'm like, wow, that is like a super accurate face sculpt. And then I look at ones from 5 years ago and I was like, I can't believe how much more accurate they've gotten. They don't need to be allowed to say the F slur, but they can definitely slay all day.
I would say I like them more than ever. No, I like Ever After High more than them, just because of the details and stuff like that. And full articulation. I'm always for full articulation. But I also did want to say, this is completely random. You can cut this out if you want to, but my holy grail Disney dolls are the Hercules and Meg they released for D23. I salivate for them. That's how bad I want them. Like, foaming at the mouth.
D23 is like its own god tier level of dolls. Like, oh my gosh.
Giselle, hello? The next group, are these Hasbro or?
Yeah, they look filthy.
I don't have a
Yeah.
big opinion on these. So when the princess dolls come out, like right now, the new Mattel ones came out. I'm always interested in watching people's videos. And like, I pretend that I like, get them by watching people's videos. So I did that when these Hasbro ones came out. And I was like all excited about that. I'm like, I'm going to get them all one day. I never got them. I don't care for cheap princess dolls. Like, I want deluxe princess dolls with like fully changeable clothes. I think these had changeable clothes at first, right?
Yeah, very first run, they were fantastic.
Yeah, I like the faces and everything of these, and I think they had different heights, right?
Yeah, different heights.
I do love that. Towards the end, I think they started going down in quality, I'm pretty sure. But I did love the style Hasbro dolls. I always wanted all of those, and they're more deluxe dolls. I think were really cool with the rooted lashes.
I have such a mixed bag with Hasbro because they've been like the only like Disney princess outside of Disney store dolls for like the past 7 years or whatever. The very first initial run, I thought they were gorgeous. They did such a good job. These molded on plastic gloves, which usually I'm against like molded on plastic, but because they could still have their individual fingers with the way they did that, I thought it was just such a smart idea. They were like $8.88 at Walmart. Like they were dirt cheap, full fashion fabrics that you could interchange like everything. And I thought that they were fine for what they were. Over the years, they just really pissed all over the license and just ran that into the ground to the point where we were relieved when Mattel got a Playline license. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's a hard one for me, but because dumpster fire is such a mixed use term on my channel, I think that they belong in dumpster fire.
Would you say above Enchantimals and Snapstars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see Disney princess dolls made by MGA.
Everybody's biggest complaint with Hasbro is that they had these big fat heads. Could you imagine if MGA had the Disney princesses?
Wait,
They
never
would
mind.
Fly off into space.
I take it back. I don't want that anymore. I'm good with Mattel and Hasbro having it. I'm good. Next up, we have the Equestria girls. So I do have opinions on these because there was a point that I did collect these. I feel like they haven't made a good pony human-like doll ever. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm pretty sure Integrity Dolls made kind of inspired ones by the ponies, and those are incredible. Their height is kind of off. Their clothing is so cheap. It's like one layered plasticky looking stuff, and like the tops I think towards the end got rubbery, and that just is kind of weird. Very minimal articulation. The hair was okay, better than Disney Store. Overall, you know, I was big into ponies. I was a brony. But these I loved at the time, but now I realize they're not the best.
I have no opinion. I never collected these. I'm so neutral about MLP as like a fandom. I don't think it's bad at all, but I don't super duper care. They did like some mermaid stuff for a while that I thought was kind of cute, but that was it. They could probably just go into mid.
Honestly, they're kind of glorified Enchantimals. Next up, I think, is Mycene. But all I know is that I really want them. Like, I wish I was into them when I was growing up because I feel like they would have changed my life completely. And I understand that they are Mattel. Mattel made them kind of to be kind of looking like a Bratz Barbie hybrid. I really like them personally.
Yeah, my scene, I'm pretty sure altered my brain's chemistry for the rest of my life. They were some of the first dolls I ever shoplifted, I ever owned. My scene, Masquerade Madness Chelsea, like fundamentally made me the woman I am today. Everything about them was amazing, and they were very Bratz-like. And they're the reasons I didn't get into Bratz when I was younger because they distracted me so much. And they have like the big chunky boot shoes, like whatever, to look like Bratz. But then you could take them off and they have regular Barbie feet so that they could interchange with Barbie. They had the beautiful, like the Barbie body at the time, which is now not considered the best, like example of a Barbie body, which I agree with now. But at the time, I was very much into. Everything about them is amazing, and they're 100% allowed to say the F slur. Oh, I would put them before Rainbow High in a heartbeat.
Like above them?
That's just me. Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of attachment with Rainbow High, but honestly, I agree. They're really cool dolls, and like I wish I had them, and I wish they weren't that expensive. And I almost got my first one, because I wanted my mini-me to date a certain Mycene boy. But then I was like, the height proportion is going to be really off there. Next up, I think, so there are multiple Barbies here. I think this is just Dreamtopia. I think they're cheap. I think this is one of when Barbie started going downhill. Kind of remind me if like these dolls were living inside of a Katy Perry music video.
Yeah, they're very much what made for younger children Playline Mattel today is. Luckily, and Angel Kent, the designer for Mattel, has been getting a lot of say with his limited budget and everything for these dolls. And the mermaids this year have just been coming out so much better. And you can always tell when Angel Kent touches something, because I'm 90% sure he was the one in charge of the redheaded holiday doll, the Odile face sculpt that everybody lost their mind over. So he's doing really good stuff. And I can see, even with the crappy like Dreamtopia budget, he's out there killing it. And I think that's fantastic, because just because Barbie Playline is supposed to be cheaper and for children doesn't mean it needs to be like trash. Because I get tired of the narrative that adult collectors will pull out sometimes, where they're like, oh, kids don't care about things like quality or anything. And it was like, I just think people like really like to shit on kids and underestimate like how much they care about things, how much they notice, how smart they are, etc. And if we're talking about, this is like a side tangent, but if we're talking about like Mattel designers right now, stop bothering them. They don't make decisions. That is Mattel at a corporate level. Like, if your doll is late from Mattel Creations, don't be contacting Bill Greening. Like, who are you? Somebody was telling me in my DMs the other day that they said something to Bill Greening and they said something to Carlisle Nuera, and like suggesting something that they should do in the future. And I was like, leave these poor designers alone.
No. Y'all leave these people alone. I can't with that. I really can't.
They're the talent, and it's not their fault. Well, kind of it is. But like that they're in a prison that Mattel created, you know, like that's the contract they signed or whatever, but they're just trying to make what they can with like the situation they're in. That's a long-winded way to say that I think Dreamtopia just belongs in dumpster fire.
All of that for dumpster fire. I can't. Where would you put them? Like above what or under who?
Below Disney Princess.
I agree. Integrity dolls. I really like those dolls. I do not own any of them. They are way above my price point, and there's a lot of exclusivity with them. Like you have to like sign up for like a membership for them and everything like that. It's my dream to own one of them, and I think you have them. I'm not sure. I think you have Theo?
Tiago, I wish.
Oh, I want him so bad. He's like one of the ones that caught my eye. And the pony ones. The pony ones are so good. And I think that's exactly how you make any pony-related doll. Incredible fashion, iconic. And I salivate and dream for those dolls.
Integrity is definitely what it is. It's a very aesthetically gorgeous, higher-end collector adult dolls. I know that their quality is dipping, unfortunately. It sounded like it started around like 2021-ish. I bought some furniture from one of my friends who has like multiple memberships so he can get me stuff. It was bad, and it was like $150, and I had to fix so much stuff and handle it so carefully because it kept trying to bend and everything. So like Integrity is fantastic, and they're a legacy brand. They've done a lot, and they've been around for a long time. So honestly, I think they could go into Slay all day.
I personally prefer Ever After High over them, but where would you put them?
Well, since this is my channel, I have no attachment to Ever After High. But that's
so you would put them above Ever After High? Well, I just like that Ever After High has a storyline and characters have personalities and stuff like that. Yeah. While Integrity, I don't think they have like bios or anything that you can read up. It's just like, here's a doll.
They do.
They do?
They usually have, yeah. My first boy, like my first ever Integrity doll was a boy. And I literally bought him because of his bio. Because he's like, he prefers the company of gentlemen and all this stuff. And he came with like a glass of cognac and a cigar. And so, and they were like, basically, he's like a huge old fag. And I was like, okay, I love him. I want this doll really bad.
Now I kind of want him.
They're always like iconically. Like, this person is trans, this person is gay, this person is like, one of my girls, she's literally like a socialite who went to a ball with like an empty package to give to her enemy because she was sleeping with her man. Like, that's the kind of background story
Wait,
integrity.
I kind of live for these now. Wait, I'm kind of okay. What? Okay. I just
Yeah.
rethought everything. But I just love the diversity already, way more than ever after I ever did. Next,
Right.
what is this? It's Barbie, but like what?
Color
Because-
reveal.
This is color reveal.
Yeah.
This is my time. I've never talked about Barbie color reveal ever, and I can say all my thoughts and everything I feel about them. Okay, wait. Do the furries go into these too?
I don't see cutie reveals, but maybe if they're not like in the remaining tiers, we could lump them in.
Okay, so like all the reveal Barbie stuff. I don't care for these personally. I do like the aspect that you put them in the water and everything like that. And that is like very relaxing and cool. But they're really kind of cheap. Yeah, they are cheap. Molded on tops and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure Barbie still uses Saran hair. I'm not sure. I haven't touched a Barbie in a hot minute. But they're all wigs and they're not like good wigs. So I don't think a company has done a good wig.
Barbie color reveal is like the profit margin for them is insane because it's literally like the worst 5 points of articulation, molded on plastic tops, etc. You're paying upwards from like 15 to like they have sets going all the way up to like $50 worth of color reveal. And for like literally 5 whole minutes of experience, and then you're left with like a plastic action figure. It's hard for me because I have a special connection with color reveal because the best TikTok videos I ever got like response on, like literally millions of views, were color reveal mermaids. So the mermaids have a very special place in my heart. Color reveal as a whole does not. And they can 100% go to bottom level Jeffree Steinman reviews.
I actually do like the mermaids, and I really wanted that boy, even though I don't collect these, but I saw a boy doll and I was like, I want it because I do love boy dolls. And I didn't talk about the furries. I'm glad I didn't talk about the furries. That's all I gotta say about that.
I've seen your search history.
Oh my gosh. I mean, next up is the Barbie Extra dolls. I don't think I like these dolls. There is one maybe I do like. It comes far in between. Like every now and then there's one that I like gravitate towards. There is this one lavender one that looks like Raquel. You know which one I'm talking about? She is stunning. I want her so bad. I had her in my cart, but I'm like, I don't collect Barbie. I don't need this. But she is gorgeous. Then I did love the Black Queen with the rainbow coat from the first collection.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked her.
Barbie Extra is probably my favorite articulation. I think Made to Move articulation gets way too robotic and clunky looking for me. And these are a little bit more softer and they like move enough for me. They unfortunately are very much a product of market research today. Mattel took every single thing that was given to them on that survey and slapped it all together in a very sloppy, very bad way. There have rarely ever been Barbie extras that I'm 100% on board with everything they've done. Other than that, it's like they're fine to piece together, and luckily they're mass produced enough that you can just wait till they go on clearance. I feel like they're just mid.
Yeah. Like a high mid or a low mid or just...
I mean, they're definitely better than anything else that's in the mid tier.
But still mid.
For the price point from current day Mattel.
Yeah. Next up, more Barbie. It's the BMR 1959 dolls. Have they stopped making them and they started doing these like color blocked ones?
Yeah, they got rid of Barbie BMR 1959 dolls, the second series. And now we're doing like the Barbie looks dolls, but like they're not, yeah.
I actually have every guy from this line. And I only have the guys. Their guy dolls are so cool. I love them. A guy with painted nails and makeup. When I saw that, I was freaking out. I was like, yes, we need more of this. They are one of my favorite boy dolls ever. And then I really like the guy with the man bun who has like Asian features. And then the redhead, he is so fine. He is so fine. I dressed him up like Hercules, and I kind of use him as my Hercules dolls because he's just so gorgeous. I just hate that he's pixelated, and they went more towards a pixelated route on those last dolls.
The Barbie 19 or the BMR 1959 dolls or whatever, they came in like recycled shoebox packaging, which I thought was kind of cool for the time. And then they came with like a sketch on the front of them, which is also cool. Their outfits definitely weren't my favorite, but the doll you were getting was fantastic. The face sculpts were fantastic, super queer. Carlisle New Era, I think that's probably the best thing he's done, just in like my opinion. And I think like they really should have given him more of a chance to really push that concept further. They came with those chunky ass stands though, and I was just like, woof.
Oh, yeah.
Those are tacky as shit.
I forgot.
But other than that, like, there were good pieces, and the redhead, the Tate face sculpt or whatever, just a fantastic male face sculpt.
I agree.
So honestly, I feel like they could be in leaked Brett Favre nudes.
Next up is Barbie Fashionistas. I think I like them a lot. But I understand they're not the best dolls. But for kids to be getting a doll that is going to be diverse and different, I really do like that. And with the Fashionista line, they introduce curvy dolls, tall, petite, and you can get that for a low price point. I love what they stand for and everything. I think I still do have some in my collection, and I really do think that they are really cool dolls. I think they're slowly like getting worse. Like, I don't think there's one that has caught my eye in a while, but there is that one new queen. I don't know if you saw the leaks. She has kind of like frizzy, curly hair, and she has kind of like this top that kind of goes to her sleeves. Have you seen her?
They're fantastic for like what they are, like a $10 and under doll that is full fashion fabric, quote unquote, and like the diversity aspect is fantastic. The different body styles, the male representation, everything like that. Like, they just have so many good things going for them, and they're good like head swappers if you want. The t-shirt dress thing is getting very, very tired and lazy. I do think they are a slay all day.
I don't think they're as good as Ever After High because they don't have a story. And I'm a big story-driven person. And if you can tell me a story through a doll line, I love that, personally. But where would you put them personally? Where would you put them?
Like I said, I don't know anything about Ever After High. I've never seen them. But it doesn't make sense to have fully articulated fashion dolls be below Barbie Fashionistas. Okay. So they can be above Disney Princess. Well, no, because the Disney Store ones, out of all of those, I feel like should be number one.
Yeah, that's just I agree. Next up is Cave Club. Next up is Fail Figs. So Garrett Sander, I think, was one of the creators for these. I'm sad to say I don't really care for them. I never owned any of them. They did the Inside Eye thing, I think, around the same time of Rainbow High, but Rainbow High did it better. But there was too much competition on the market that they kind of got overshadowed.
Yeah, I never got them. I don't care. The only thing is Garrett Sander. Other than that, like, I don't care. Dumpster Fire or mid.
I think they're better than Snapstars. I just remember Snapstars not being appealing to look at. Next up is Monster High. I feel like, because this includes G3 too, so it's like the Monster High's whole entire run. I think they're one of the greatest doll lines in all of history. And they're pretty diverse, and they're getting way better at being diverse with G3. And the dolls are different. Each doll has its unique face. And the story for Monster High is so good. It's a storyline you can really connect with. And there will 100% be a character you can relate to in Monster High, one way or another. The fashions are really cool. They're not like super trendy fashion, but it has a monster glaze or has a monster lens to it. I think that's really cool. And I could go on and on with Monster High, but I would definitely allowed to say the Epsilon for them.
I wish we had a different ranking so I could be absolute, like, in the hell garbage can trash monster. No, I'm just kidding. Monster High, obviously, they're allowed to say the Epsilon because they're, like, the most queer representative dolls, but being a bunch of pussies about it and not actually following through. because Mattel is a giant, like, flaky monster. But obviously, they're allowed to say the F slur.
And they are getting better at that. Frankie's non-binary.
Yeah, and hopefully in another 10 years, we actually have a same-sex relationship in Monster High lore.
Literally.
I mean, they have to beat out Rainbow High, right?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they pass my scene.
Yeah, as far as like nostalgia goes, definitely not, because like my audience knows, Monster High was literally like at the peak of its popularity when I was on a doll collecting hiatus, so they were not on my radar.
Oh, yeah. Next, we have a Creatable World. So I have some of the fashion packs from them. I use them for like Rainbow High restyles. The thought of these dolls is really cool. Like the concept is really nice, but I feel like it could have been done better.
I think they're very like mid-tier, honestly. Like they were cute, they didn't last that long. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of childlike dolls, and they were very childlike. But they had like good fabrics and an overall like message and everything, and I would have liked to see them explore further.
Where would you put them?
They would be probably like top mid.
You like them more than Barbie Extra?
Yeah.
Next is the Equestria Girls reboot.
They could be Jeffree Steinman reviews for all I care.
Moxie Girls. I just remember my sister having a couple of them. They're just like kid versions of the Bratz, I think. Because I think they're also made by MGA, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I have a couple of Moxie Girl type, like, knock-off Disney princess dolls. And the Ariel, they're so cheapy, and they have that, like, wind chime hollow plastic sound to them. And I don't like them. So they could definitely be Jeffree Steinman reviews.
Next up is the Na Na Na. I think we can include the teens in this as well. So I like these. They're not like my favorite doll line that ever existed. I do have like all the boys. Yeah, I think I do have all the boys. I'm missing like maybe two. I really like them, but they're on my shelf hiding in like a secluded part of my closet shelf. And I will probably sell them soon, but the concept is cool.
Yeah, they're cute. Their scale is fine. I like their little mini play sets and everything. The boys were always like my main goal, but they also had Marina the mermaid. Yeah, they're fine for what they were. They were a little expensive. So honestly, I think they're dumpster fire.
Yeah, just because, yeah, that diversity thing, they needed that. But I do think they're better than Enchantimals.
Just to keep them in their place, though, definitely put them behind molded on plastic top Hasbro, just so they know
Yes.
they can't, like,
Literally.
know your place.
Next, we have the BTS Mattel dolls. I never got these. I'm not like a big BTS person. The only K-pop group I care about is Blackpink. There are really cool male dolls. I probably should have got them just because they were male dolls. The clothes I can't get behind. I could just tell from when the dolls came out, it's that fabric that is like shiny and is cheap. And for BTS, I feel like they could have done a lot with those dolls. I do like their body types. It's kind of like a hybrid of the Ever After High guy body with like a new head. And I do like that they have actual hair and not molded on. But I can't get behind the clothes when the actual BTS group uses very high-end clothes.
I have a couple of them because they went on clearance really quick in my area, and I was able to grab them. I think Mattel was like relying on the BTS name a little too much, and they had like these ones that are in the picture with like the cheapy, like papery fabric. But they also have these collector level dolls that came with like stands and everything, and they were like detailed shoes and all this stuff. And it was really interesting, but it was like so quick. It was such a flash in the pan for doll collectors. And they just never brought anything that needed to be brought. And I'm sure like BTS stands would like disagree. Other things that wouldn't be needed are Jeffree Steinman reviews.
Low Jeffree Steinman or where?
Probably low, because like it was so fast.
I think next is the Poopsie. Are these, what are these called? Are these the Poopsie Surprise or the Rainbow Surprise?
I think they were just like Slime Surprise, Rainbow, I don't know. Basically, they were a predecessor to Rainbow High.
I'm glad they existed because Rainbow High became a thing, but I don't care for them at all. I have no opinion on them.
Their scale was too big. They weren't for me. So they could be dumpster fire because I know people like them.
Next is Novi Stars. So I do have a lot of opinions on Novi Stars. I do love Novi Stars. They did suffer from not having articulation, but I did love that each one had a gimmick. So one of them talked, one of them smelled good, one of them was like a lava lamp, and the other one lit up. So, and then there was multiple other characters. I feel like these dolls would have done really good at a normal, like 12-inch scale. And with a higher grade, upgraded fashion, they could have done really well. And I feel like a reboot for them would be so good. And just looking at Zoe from Shadow High Series 2, she's kind of like a new age Novi Star. And if we got dolls like that...
I have no opinion.
You have no opinion?
They were during my doll collecting hiatus.
Where would you put them? In Jeffree Steinman?
Well, I have no idea. Like I said, I have no opinion. None. The pressure's on Nate.
Oh, on me? I wouldn't say they're the best. I would say they're better than these Equestria girls. They're kind of in the same range. Next is Star Darlings, which I remember when they first came out, I really wanted them. But now that we're in the future and I know that Rainbow High exists, these don't matter to me at all. And these only released those 5 dolls, I think. I think they're cool, but and they're made by the Disney Store, I think. But other than that, I didn't care for them too much. I will put them, honestly, at Jeffree Steinman reviews, but like maybe right there, because they had removable fashion and the inside eyes were pretty cool. Next is Pull-Up. So Pull-Up, I do have opinions on. I don't have any because I think they're too fragile for me, and I like changing my dolls and stuff like that, and I feel like if I even like look at one, it'll break. But I will say the only Pull-Ups that have ever caught my attention are the Sailor Moon ones, and they're kind of my holy grail dolls. And I want them so bad. I want the whole collection, however many they made of them. I want them so bad. And I think they're the best Sailor Moon dolls that they have made. And yeah, I think they're cool.
Yeah, I know they're like popular. People like them. I literally have no opinion. I've never had them. I've never had the want for them because they're just not my kind of scale.
So where would you put them?
Probably mid because like I'm very meh about them. Like I'm neutral.
I would say above the ponies. I would say above Novi Stars, honestly, and above Wild Hearts Crew.
Oh, 100%. Who's
Wait.
Wild Hearts Crew? Come on.
I would put them above everyone else in mid, like the highest mid.
Yeah, those are Liko-chan dolls.
I have not a single opinion about these.
They are freaking fantastic. I love them. They're fantastic for what they are. If you're expecting like a high quality, like solid all the way through, like doll that you're kind of used to over here in the States, you might be disappointed. But if you accept her for what she is so cute. Especially like the hashtag like Lika17 dolls, the like more adult Barbie like teenager ones. They are, oh my god, I'm in love with them.
In Slay? Where in Slay?
Just anywhere.
Just anywhere. I would put, personally, Ever After High above them because storyline. I think Ever After High has the best storyline. Last is Bratz. And if they're not allowed to say the F slur, then Bratz has failed as a company. They are iconic. Bratz are iconic. They push the envelope for, I think, a fashion doll line. And I don't have many Bratz. And the first Bratz I ever got was the reboot ones, and I went hard on those dolls. Like, I got a lot of those dolls, and I really like them. I don't anymore. They're not in my collection. And I realized that the new Bratz, I realize now that the classic Bratz are so nice, and there's so many I want. The fashions are so good. They came with so many accessories and little things and details and a lot of things. And a lot of the things that Bratz is doing now is so cool, partnering with these different partnerships and everything. The Moa Lola dolls are really cool. Like, at first I didn't like them, but now I'm just like obsessed with them and I want them. And I love everything that they're doing. And I really hope they make Sugar and Spice dolls. If anyone gets that reference.
Yeah, Bratz are definitely allowed to say the F word.
Where in the ranking do you put them?
I don't have the nostalgia boner for them, and I've definitely spent more on Rainbow High and LOL OMG than I have Bratz. But I know my audience, I know my place, and they should be right next to my scene because they're rivals.
I would personally, yeah, I would put them in Allowed to Say the Epicenter, maybe like right next to Rainbow High. Because that's just how I collect in my tiers. It's like Monster High first, then it goes Rainbow High, and then Bratz, and then LOLs. Just how I collect them. We rank them all. Live dolls were missing from this. Not that I have an attachment to them, but I just noticed that they are missing.
That's why I purposely picked this list. Because live dolls can go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. I picked this because the majority of them were doll lines I cared about or had an opinion on or something. It was short enough, and yeah, I think we're good here. Thank you all for watching, like, whatever this dumpster fire ends up being. Okay, hold on. Are we releasing ours like the same day, or like what's going on?
I am so down for that. I'm really down for that.
Don't forget to check out Nate's channel where we rank Monster High characters, and these videos will be released around the same time. That way you can watch them both. We're not going to keep yanking it out to make you guys like jump back and forth between channels. You can just do it nice and quick. We put some very the kind of content you'd expect from me to give you. So thank you so much, Nate, for hosting me, being in charge of this, like setting all this up. This has been fantastic. I like a good collaboration, and we will continue from there. I'll have everything linked down below. Definitely go check Nate out. And if you haven't, he actually puts some thought and effort into his Instagram, where you guys follow mine just for trash. So, you know.
And I want to say thank you so much for having me here. And I'm so glad we collaborated. And I honestly do want us to collab again. It's so much fun. And I'm glad you came up with a tier list idea, because I do love watching these videos, and I can't wait to see what everyone else would rank these dolls as well.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Maybe next time we could review toys from Adam and Eve.
Oh my gosh, wait. Yeah. Wait, honestly, that would be iconic.
All right, dumpster divers, have fun with this one, and I will see you in my next episode where I get a piercing down south, but you'll have to follow me on Twitter to find out what it is.
Bye. You can cut out my bye. I'm just so used to at the end of any video I want to say bye.